So the pot's on the counter right there in the shot. As you can see clearly, right? The pot is on the counter. No longer does she have the pot in her hand. At this point, she's already ducked down with the oven mitts in her hands. That's why you don't even see her in the shot anymore. So she's scared now. They got their guns pointed at her, and the pot is actually right there on the counter. Let's go back just a little bit. All right, let's play. Okay, the pot. He points the gun at her. If you look at the arrow right there, right, the pot is right there with the gray arrow. The next frame, her hands goes up, right there. Look at the arrow. Follow the arrow. Her hands are off the pot, and they are still screaming, "Drop the effing pot." They're still screaming. She's scared now. The oven mitts are still in her hands. The pot is still right there on the counter.
Her hands
Right? You see it right there.
are in the air.
Boom. She sees the gun. In this frame, her hands go up, like sort of like covering her face or covering her ears or whatever, with the oven mitts still in her hands. The pot is still on the counter, right there on the counter. The pot is still on the counter. Her hands are on her ears or her head, trying to cover herself right now at this point. She's so scared. She's ducking down now. Boom. The oven mitts in her hands. You can see the gray oven mitts, and I believe the red ones as well. The gray oven mitts are in her hands. She's scared. She ducks down. And right there she goes out of frame. The officer can clearly see the pot is on the counter, just like we can see it in this frame right here. The pot is still on the counter. She ducks down. But if you watch the original video, he's still screaming, "Drop the effing pot. Drop the pot."
Your hot steaming water.
Away from hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot!
19 shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Drop the fucking pot!
It's like one of those things that cops do when they're being recorded. So they're saying, stop resisting, so that they can be heard on the recording saying stop resisting, so that later on when the report comes out, they will be exonerated to saying they were repeating their calls and the person was ignoring their calls. That's what it seems like, because he keeps saying, "Drop the pot, drop the effing pot." So it seems like that's what's going on here. I don't know. I'm just speculating here that he keeps saying, "Drop the pot, drop the effing pot," as to say he doesn't see the pot sitting right here like we're seeing it right here, right? And she goes down. You can see the officer's arm with the camera, and the pot is on the counter right there. So why they keep saying, "Drop the pot, nobody knows. They just keep saying, "Drop the pot." They're going to execute no matter what. They're going to execute this lady. They're going to unlife her. That's their intention. That's what this is all about. That's what this seems to be. It doesn't make any sense where you're still screaming, "Drop the pot, drop the pot." And when the person actually drops the pot, you literally don't recognize that the pot is actually no longer in their hands. That was the threat. The threat was the pot, the hot water. You didn't want to get doused with the hot water. So once the pot is no longer in her hands, that fear of getting doused with that hot water is no longer there, or at least it should no longer be there. However, it seems as if to these police officers, the pot was not the issue, or to us, it seems like to us, the pot was not the issue, because what then are they afraid of now? That the fact that the pot is no longer in her hands.
The pot.
You see what I'm saying? It's sad that We get people serving our communities that don't know us. And anytime we move the way that we move naturally in our environments, they seem like they're offended or they don't understand and they're confused about why we're doing the things we do. But everybody moves a certain way in their own home or their community. For these cops, I'm telling you, man, I really hope that this police officer, and I would say both of them, because they both escalated, all right? If they weren't jerks and laughing at this lady, you know, like I said in my first video, they were communicating non-verbally and laughing, just like friends would be. Like me and my friends, if we go out in public and we see something crazy, we don't want to say it out loud. We would just look at each other and eye each other like, you see that crazy stuff going on? That's what these cops were doing, and they were laughing. When he walks away from the water, he starts laughing like, I'm trying to get away from that steaming water. That triggers her. Like, why would you do that? Why would you assume that I'm going to douse you with this water? That's crazy, right? I really hope that they get served the right way. The extent of the law is applied in their situation. Both of them should be held accountable, not just one. One pulled the trigger, life in prison, the death penalty. I mean, seriously, like it should be, because this was an execution. This was not something that you can just say, oh, it was justified or they made a mistake. No mistake making here. They meant to do that because they asked her to drop the pot. When she went down, the pot was no longer in her hands and they took her life anyway. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. I'm out.